My younger years, I was just your average kid that didn't want to get in trouble, that wanted to make his parents happy, make the aunts and uncles and cousins all love him, anybody and all around. I tried to be your friend, be your pal. Never saw myself teetering off doing major things wrong. Was always the one that was picked on for having the not the name brand shoe. Was made fun of for Attack Force shoes. They weren't Nikes. So my parents didn't have us in the most expensive brand of clothes, but they provided for us and gave us a life that not a lot get to experience, and that love and togetherness we had. After high school, I kind of had this just, I'm going my own way, away from my parents, away from everything. I went and got my ears pierced and my eyebrows pierced and my tongues pierced and all these things that were against what my parents had wished for me to ever be or look like. And it was just my own way of becoming an adult in my mind, that I'm allowed to do these things at 18, so it means I can do it, right? And I can go buy a pack of cigarettes. I can go buy this nudie magazine. I can go buy whatever it is at 18. It was that you were given this freedom all of a sudden that you thought, really, it's not a freedom at 18. It's a whole new adult life that needs to be taken seriously and not lightly, because one wrong choice can lead to so many other. I made that wrong choice one night to go out with some friends and have a good time down in Mill Avenue. And we decided to try something called ecstasy. Felt euphoric, felt some type of different that I never had experienced, except for maybe on the basketball court when you got a victory, or that high of, wow, this is what life is. We would be dancing all night, and then the parties would go on, and it just became a lifestyle. And soon I excelled in that and started selling to anyone and everyone that wanted it. Went to do a deal one day and felt something was wrong throughout the whole day. I go to do the deal and end up on my face. It was absolutely the most terrifying situation as a 19-year-old kid could have. And during that time was when I actually met what would be my wife, going out that night to continue to still sell, to pay off a dealer after already being busted. So not only was I jeopardizing my life in one way, I was jeopardizing my life and getting busted again. I was afraid of losing my life through not paying off my debt. Always was fearful that someone would come after me. 2 weeks after meeting what would end up being my wife, she ends up bailing me out of jail and paying my bond. So I thought I had my angel. She was sent from him, sent from God, to protect me, to help me to change the man that I was. Luckily, God had different plans for when I was gonna go away. He allowed me to only get probation and community service and fines. Allowed me to get married June of 2003, which was Father's Day. Had my firstborn beautiful baby girl, Caitlin Starr, and that changed everything for us. That was a blessing in disguise, an unexpected baby. I was on a Saturday ride with a buddy of mine from a local shop next door, and we decided to go take our motorcycles out, go up Yarnell Hill, up the back way to Prescott Valley, doing 160 on straightaways, thinking that we're the king of the world. Then, on the way up the mountain, it's third turn in, it disappears, hairpin 180, and shortly after, you hear sirens coming up the mountain, and I got air vac off the mountain. Well, When I crashed my motorcycle in 2005, my wife said if I were to ever get another motorcycle to bring divorce papers. Luckily, I never brought divorce papers because I would never have been given my second daughter the beautiful gift of Trinity Sky. 2008, we had our last fight. I remember it clear as day, where it was just one of those. She got home from work and we got into a fight, verbal altercation, a lot of yelling, and I finally just said, "Do you want a divorce?" And she said yes. Moved out that very next November 8th, 2008, I was into my own place. So you get through a custody case, everything goes as best as it can. 50-50 custody remains after our 2011 case. The judge decided that the best interest for my children in 2018 of September was to have Caitlin move completely in with the mother and have no access to me. Meanwhile, they gave me time with Trinity to earn. There were 6 steps to complete. So on each step that it completed, I got more time with her, completely about a year before we were just on our own without having a supervisor or my mom around, which really changed our relationship. My father was diagnosed with prostate cancer in May of 2007. He battled prostate cancer for 7 years. In 2014, it took a turn for the worst. In November, it started to look like it was not going to be much longer before we were going to have to say goodbye to him. He was admitted into hospice care. Miraculously, a week later, out and eating fish fryer at Irish Wolfhound on his birthday. It was our last birthday celebration with him. I miss him. I miss him a lot. I think about him daily. Just losing my father was devastating. To lose that pillar in your home and just lose that pillar to lean on and have that strength and that hug that you get from your dad. So through custody loss and isolation and job loss and father loss, it brings you to some pretty dark places, and it just made me go and think that I need to end my life and be done with this. And that the words that Marty spoke that weekend spoke to my heart and opened my eyes to see that there was far greater for me in the future ahead, and that just because what I'd seen in my previous wasn't what I thought I could be, there's so much far greater for me that I can see now that I've turned to him. Through coming back to church and being rededicated to God in a way that my discipline hasn't been before in him, I've found my faith walk to be the right walk for me and where I need to be. And it continues to show me to this day, every time I tune into him and lean in, that he's gonna lead me to where I need to be. And he's always been leading me. No matter how far I drift away, he's always waiting there for me.